All right, I'm told Arthur Khan will join us first for more on this. Arthur, from the visuals that we can see, the man who was beaten up by the supporters of the Aam Aadmi Party was wearing an Aam Aadmi Party cap himself. Is there any indication of who he might be or why he was there?
Well, the person has now been identified and his name is Sagar Bhandari. That's what we are learning from our sources now. But really the police is questioning him to find out as to why he did what he did. They're also trying to find out whether he's mentally unstable in some way. They want to find out whether he was also trying to protest there in some way, or was he doing it, just like that. So these are the things that the police is trying to probe. They do not know yet about his antecedents, but they have identified him as Sagar Bhandari.
All right, Arthur, could you run viewers who are just joining in through the events that took place this afternoon at Jantar Mantar?
Well, today Yogendra Yadav, senior AAP leader, was addressing gathering here at Jantar Mantar on occasion of Women's Day, and all of a sudden a person, unidentified person, then had, he went behind him and smeared ink on his face, and thereafter some Aam Aadmi Party workers had, sort of surrounded that person. And since there's a police presence at Jantar Mantar, that person was caught and then he was handed over to police. Now he has been taken for questioning and he's been identified as Sagar Bhandari.
All right. Also, do we know if the Aam Aadmi Party plans on pressing charges against this individual?
Well, it's not really clear of what Yogendra Yadav was saying, that, the indication was that he's willing to forgive him. But then this sort of incident has happened to Aam Aadmi Party leaders earlier also. So they will have to take a view as to they wish to press charges. They would want police to initiate any legal action against that person or not. That's not clear at the moment.
Okay, and also any word on how this person actually got up there to that stage? Yogendra Yadav was sitting on the stage at the time, and this man reaches up from behind him when he smears ink on him.
Well, that's right. It all happened all of a sudden, but it seems that person had camouflaged himself as one of the Aam Aadmi Party workers and was there with the crowd surrounding Yogendra Yadav, and he has suddenly his accosted Yogendra Yadav from behind, and he tried to move away from that space, but then he was rounded up in time and handed over to police.
All right, Arthur, stay with us. So just to reiterate for viewers, a man who was dressed up certainly as an Aam Aadmi Party supporter, he was wearing a cap of the Aam Aadmi Party, got onto stage at Jantar Mantar where Yogendra Yadav and other Aam Aadmi Party leaders were holding a rally on the occasion of Women's Day. That's when he smeared ink on Yogendra Yadav's face from behind. You can see the chaos that ensued as Aam Aadmi Party supporters grabbed a hold of this man and tried to beat him up before the police intervened and took him away. Arthur Khan is still with us on the phone line. Arthur, this man now being identified by the police as Sagar Bhandari. Do we know if he was injured during that scuffle that followed?
Well, there are no apparent injuries as such, but what we know that there was some scuffle and fisticuffs, so there is a chance that he could have been injured. But then the police is at the moment questioning him and trying to find out the reason for his presence there and the conduct, what he did at the spot. So these are the things that the police is trying to ascertain whether he's mentally sound or not, and if he was protesting at all, the method he's adopted. All of a sudden there were some slogans also according to Yogendra Yadav, but that it's not really clear about his affiliation as to what is his background and why was he doing what he did.
Was the man able to make any comments as he was being led away, Arthur?
Not really. He was all of a sudden taken into custody by police and he's taken away from the spot because there was a danger that the Aam Aadmi workers would want to, try to, be violent. But the police had taken him in their safe custody and they have taken him for questioning.
Arthur, stay with us. We want to replay that soundbite that Yogendra Yadav
देख रहे थे। मैं यहाँ बैठा हुआ मीडिया से बात कर रहा था, अचानक पीछे से कोई आया और उसने चेहरे पे कुछ लगा दिया, मैं रंग भी नहीं पहचान पा रहा हूँ, शायद ये नीला किस्म का रंग लगा है, स्याही लगाई है। एक बार फिर आम आदमी पार्टी के साथ वही हुआ है। मैं तो चेहरा भी नहीं, चेहरा मैं कैसे देखता, मैं तो यहाँ पे पीछे से कोई आया और उसने मेरे चेहरे पे सब लगा दिया और कुछ नारे लगाए। यही हुआ, मैं इसके बारे में और कुछ नहीं जानता, कौन था, कुछ कहा।
Yogendra Yadav over there saying he has no idea who this man was, but our correspondent Athar Khan reporting from sources in the police that he has been identified as Sagar Bhandari. If you watch carefully on the visuals, he's the man in the red and black striped shirt, just barely visible in that scuffle between Aam Aadmi Party supporters and him. The police managed to finally get a hold of him in the midst of that scuffle and lead him away for questioning. Athar Khan is still with us. Athar, how are Aam Aadmi Party supporters reacting to this latest attack on their leaders?
Well, it was a natural reaction on the part of workers. Their senior leader, when is assaulted in some way, humiliated, embarrassed at the spot, their natural reaction would be to stop that. And that's what they were trying to do at the spot. But then there was fisticuffs also, and they were trying to overpower this person and hand him over to the police. So the conduct was quite natural and impulsive. But then the police took control of the situation and have taken this person, who initially identified himself as Sagar Bhandari, to the police station, to Connaught Place police station for questioning. It depends whether he will be taken to the Parliament Street police station or the Connaught Place police station. The reason being that there are two jurisdictions in this area. However, what we are getting to know from our sources in the police is that this person identified himself as Sagar Bhandari, but as to where he belongs to and what is his affiliation, does he have any political affiliation, is not yet clear, Pierre.
All right, Arthur, many thanks for getting us those updates. Still very few details emerging beyond the name of the individual who attacked Yogendra Yadav on stage there, smearing ink on his face. You can see the scuffle that ensued between the man and Aam Aadmi Party supporters. His name, Sagar Bhandari, as he told the police. He was then led away by them to a nearby police station. Arvind Kejriwal issuing a bit of a non-comment over there, it should really be said, saying when you are on the path of truth, you do have difficulties. He was asked, of course, about the attack on Yogendra Yadav by a man who's been identified as Sagar Bhandari. And you can see that attack right there. The man jumping up on stage, shouting slogans. And these are the first visuals of that attack on your screens right now, as the man Sagar Bhandari jumped up on stage, smearing Yogendra Yadav's face with ink. He was then apprehended by Aam Aadmi Party supporters, who took him off stage and then proceeded to beat him up, really, when the police intervened and led him away. As he was attacking him, you can hear him shout, "Bharat Mata Ki Jai." Raju Shukla of the Congress also saying what happened was not right, echoing sentiments expressed by Nalan Kohli of the BJP a short while earlier. He too said that the incident is completely condemnable and that people should not be resorting to any sort of assault or violence during the elections. He called for a peaceful elections. This, of course, far from peaceful, and as we've been reporting, not the first time that an Aam Aadmi Party leader has been attacked in this manner. Prashant Bhushan, the subject of a similar attack. That was on the day that the Aam Aadmi Party released its manifesto for the Delhi Assembly elections. This attack now coming during a rally by the Aam Aadmi Party on Women's Day in the capital.
मैं यहाँ बैठा हुआ मीडिया से बात कर रहा था, अचानक पीछे से कोई आया और उसने चेहरे पे कुछ लगा दिया, मैं रंग भी नहीं पहचान पा रहा हूँ, शायद ये नीला किस्म का रंग लगा है, स्याही लगाई है। एक बार फिर आम आदमी पार्टी के साथ वही हुआ है। मैं तो चेहरा भी नहीं, चेहरा मैं कैसे देखता, मैं तो यहाँ पे पीछे से कोई आया और उसने मेरे चेहरे पे सब लगा दिया और कुछ नारे लगाए। यही हुआ, मैं इसके बारे में और कुछ नहीं जानता, कौन था, कुछ कहा।
Aditi Anantanarayanan is on the phone line with us for more on this story. Aditi, there have been suggestions from the BJP that this was an attack by at least one of the party's supporters, if not a member of the party. The BJP, of course, denying that right now.
Absolutely. In fact, Pierre, the BJP has been on the back foot since the Aam Aadmi Party had decided that they are provoking Bharatiya Janata Party. In fact, even on the day when the Aam Aadmi Party workers created the ruckus outside the Bharatiya Janata Party national headquarters in Delhi, they had decided a clear message was sent out that the BJP will refrain from being provoked by the attempts being made by the Aam Aadmi Party. And even now, while the Aam Aadmi Party is blaming the Bharatiya Janata Party for what happened with Yogendra Yadav, the BJP at this point of time does not want to comment on it. They are absolutely clear that they have done nothing and they don't even want to indulge in any sort of tactics with Aam Aadmi Party or Arvind Kejriwal at this point of time. So they are saying that it's completely fine if Aam Aadmi Party is blaming the BJP, because that has become usual for the party to create a high-profile drama and then blame the BJP for it.
All right, Aditi, all of this, of course, happening even as Arvind Kejriwal is on that rally in Gujarat. Arvind Kejriwal himself had a very short comment to make. He said, when you're on the path of truth, such difficulties often come up. He's taking on the BJP leader in his home constituency today in Maninagar. Has the party said anything about that face-off?
Not really, Pierre, because the BJP does not really take Arvind Kejriwal as a competition. They said that after the unfortunate 49-day government that Arvind Kejriwal formed in Delhi, it was clear that Arvind Kejriwal was incapable of forming the government. So if Arvind Kejriwal cannot form the government in Delhi, it was beyond question that he can actually form the government of the country and come to the center. So the BJP knows that it's only a competition between the Congress and the BJP. They don't take Arvind Kejriwal very seriously as far as the Lok Sabha polls are concerned. They know that Arvind Kejriwal's party can act as a spoiler for them for the elections, but not really a competition. And they know that till the polls get over, that's what the sources are telling us, that till the polls get over, they know Arvind Kejriwal will act as what they call a irritant factor for the party, but nothing more than that. And that's why the BJP does not really take Arvind Kejriwal as a major threat.
All right, Aditi, stay with us. We have a soundbite given to Headlines today by Nalan Kohli of the BJP. He was speaking to us on the phone line earlier. Here's what he said. Across Gujarat, how do you respond to those suggestions?
I have three categorical statements to make. First, this is absolutely condemnable. Any kind of such act, which is involving throwing slippers or throwing ink or anything, in a democracy, we all have our rights to say what we want to do within the confines of whatever is taken to be as accepted behavior and language. This is condemnable. Second, if the Aam Aadmi, first, I think it is incorrect to immediately draw any kind of conclusion, which the Aam Aadmi Party, of course, is known to have started a whole series of activities that are publicity-driven. So I think on one hand, the Aam Aadmi Party has to also take into account that they are now opening up a whole Pandora's box in terms of how people may want to, for the sake of publicity, undertake acts that would...
That was Nalan Kohli of the BJP reacting to the attack on Yogendra Yadav this afternoon by a man who we now know is named Sagar Bhandari. You can see visuals of that attack on the right of your screen. Yogendra Yadav was in the middle of giving a soundbite to the media when the attack took place. Aditi Anantanarayanan is still with us. Aditi, the BJP and Nalan Kohli, they're denying any involvement to us, and saying instead that this is completely condemnable, that such an attack must never take place in a democracy, particularly in a fraught moment such as the national elections.
sticking to its stand that any such activities, throwing in or throwing slippers at any political leader, is condemnable. The BJP does not support this. But then, yet again, this does not mean that the BJP was a part of it. This does not mean that Arvind Kejriwal or the Aam Aadmi Party should jump to conclusion deciding that it was the BJP's conspiracy to do something like this to Yogendra Yadav at Jantar Mantar. And the BJP is sticking to its stand that it really doesn't matter, even if the Aam Aadmi Party is blaming the BJP is not answerable to Aam Aadmi Party, and then they should go on to investigate actually who exactly was the person behind it. And in case something comes out, and only then BJP will be liable to react. Until then, they don't think that it's even. They don't think that it's liable. They have the liability to react to Aam Aadmi Party's allegations.
Let's listen in also to what Nalan Kohli of the BJP told headlines today shortly after this attack came to light.
See, I am right now present in the IIT Kanpur, so I'm not aware about the incidents, what happened exactly. But I must say that whatever is happening, this is really a big threat to the democracy. The way the people are, coming out, and we really need to take a very strict legal action against such people, because this is not happening the first time. This is almost a third or fourth time that these people are coming and throwing ink, or maybe tomorrow it can be acid also, if they are feeling so much, the threat to the people who are coming forward to bring the change and fighting against the corruption and all that things. So we need to take a very strict and legal action against these people. We should not spare at all. I came to know that the police had caught that person who thrown the ink on Yogendra Yadav. So I think we need immediately a very strict action. So the message should be,
Right.
go to these people who are doing such acts.
Across Gujarat, how do you respond to those suggestions?
I have three categorical statements to make. First, this is absolutely condemnable. Any kind of such act, which is involving throwing slippers or throwing ink or anything, in a democracy, we all have our rights to say what we want to do within the confines of whatever is taken to be as accepted behavior and language. This is condemnable. Second, if the Aam Aadmi, first, I think it is incorrect to immediately draw any kind of conclusion, which the Aam Aadmi Party, of course, is known to have started a whole series of activities that are publicity driven. So I think on one hand, the Aam Aadmi Party has to also take into account that they are now opening up a whole Pandora's box in terms of how people may want to, for the sake of publicity, undertake acts that would...
The attack on Yogendra Yadav this afternoon, as he and other Aam Aadmi Party leaders held a rally at Delhi's Jantar Mantar on the occasion of Women's Day. You can see Aam Aadmi Party workers trying to push that man, Sagar Bhandari, off the stage. There are unconfirmed reports at this stage that he was a disgruntled Aam Aadmi Party worker. We, of course, haven't got that information yet, but he certainly was wearing an Aam Aadmi Party cap when he carried out the attack.